Hey everyone, I am Tezzy, the developer of Gravebyte, and today I want to show off all of the new features and additions to the game, and generally just talk about development so far. So, since the last big update I did, there's been a few new things added. I think notably there's a new offline earnings system. There's also an expansion system. I've now built out this starting cafe that we can see here. There's also been quite a lot of balancing in terms of making sure the foods and the prices and how long they take to cook, as well as the price in the shops, have been balanced a bit. Still needs a lot more work, but getting there. And also a new social and friend system has been added. So I want to show off quite a few of these features in this video. Let's start off though. Here's a current starting cafe. So it's very basic. It's very similar to another game we may know, but we have this starting cafe here. We can start off by hiring this human, and it costs $100 and goes down to 900 now as our overall money that we have in the game. And they're just standing here. They don't really have much to do. They can't serve any customers. We don't have any food yet, so we can start cooking. So let's have a look. Let's cook. Let's start off with something simple. What about tofu? So we can assign this zombie over to this stove now. Oh, did not mean to edit it. We can now assign this zombie over to the stove. It starts cooking. I don't want to wait 15 minutes, and for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use my little cheats I have to speed this up. So I'm going to click key on my keyboard, and now we've toggled on the setting that all cooking jobs are instant. So that'll just help for showing off some of the features in this video. So now this tofu is going to start getting served to all the customers. We can also speed up the cafe just to see our money's going up over time. We can see serving lots of people, which is great. We can also now improve our cafe, like we might be able to put down a new table and chair so we can serve 2 people at once, which should speed up our earnings quite a bit. So if we speed up the game now, we can see we're serving 2 people at once. We'd be making money a lot faster. So slowly, you can start to develop your cafe and start making more money. We could even add in an extra table and chair. I think we have enough money for it. Perfect. So now we're getting a bit short on money here, but now we've got 3 lots of tables and chairs all making money individually. So that's great. And we'll just wait for us to run out of food. And now we're back to our starting problem. We've now got no food again. So let's cook something else. Let's see, what can we afford? We can afford some bento box. Here we go. Let's assign our zombie to it and let's serve it. And this is going to start cooking. So obviously we're making a lot more money now than we would have been previously. Now, one thing I won't be able to show off too well in this video, actually we might be able to later on, is the offline earning system. So if we closed our game here and then checked back in say an hour, I have a simulation running that's pretty much perfectly accurate. It's accurate within about 5% of the real-time game, and it runs about 4 million times the speed of the real game, and it can simulate about 24 hours of gameplay in about 20 milliseconds. So that allows us to simulate what would happen in the cafe when it's not actually running. Normally, this would be quite infeasible if you actually sped up the game speed, because rendering all of these visuals is quite complex, and means you can't really run the game very quickly. So you'd never be able to do that normally, but this new simulation that I've written runs entirely without the graphics. It runs entirely independently as a separate process, and can simulate the game extremely quickly. So that's a really cool feature that's been developed recently. Let's also show off now some of the expansions. We don't actually have enough money, so I might need to speed up the game a little bit here. So we can see we have $62. Some money will start coming in shortly, but I can now start individually expanding tiles like this here. And it depends on how much money you have, so I can't place down any more tiles at the moment over here because I don't have enough money for it. Because I've already spent 140 to get these expansions and we don't have enough. But now that we've got some more money again, I'm sure, yep, I can place an extra tile in. So it only lets you place down as many tiles as you have the money for. And you can cancel if you want to go back to how you were. but that's in general how this new systems work. We can also, just to show it off, show that we can sort of clean our walls and all the dirty objects that start in the cafe. You could place down some new sinks to replace the dirty sinks. You could place down some new benches to replace these broken down looking benches, and you can generally clean your cafe. That could be a pretty good starting job to do when you first start playing the game, is to try and clean up your cafe and make it look a bit nicer. But I think that is most of it. Let's actually do a bit of changes, because I want to show off the social system and show that the cafe is live updating correctly. So let's go, maybe I'll buy, I don't know, some random tiles. I'll buy those. I don't know why you'd ever want to buy these ones, but that'll work for the moment. So I now have $4, spent most of our money there, and we now have this new wall placed down. So if I was now to minimize or make this window a bit smaller, I'm going to put this in the top left, and I'm going to open another game. So pretend that this game here is running on a separate device to our original one. So we can see this is a nice clean cafe as well. This is like a new game save, as if someone was just playing the game for the first time on their phone, like we started with over here. And we can open up the social menu, and we can do that over here as well. So we can see that we actually have these friend codes that appear. Now, just for testing purposes, let's try and, on our original account, add this new one in. I'm not actually sure if that is a 0 or an O, but let's see if this works. So NOIE and then EHA5. Hopefully that works. Yes, it does. So we can see now that this cafe has now been followed. So now it's going to show any cafes you follow will appear in this list here. And if we also head over to this account, we can see the original cafe now shows as a follower. And what we can see is that we can actually now visit. So there's this visit button. So I've just now added my friend on this account, so I can now visit them. And we can see the fresh brand new cafe is now showing. And if we return back, we're now back to our original cafe. And same from this account here, we can see our followers and we can visit their cafe. And we can now see all of those changes we made on the original account show up here, and we can also return back to our original cafe. It's also extremely fast live updating, so we can see if I visit the cafe we added, this our fresh cafe, but if I come over here and I was to place down this really expensive fancy table, and I return home and quickly visit again, we can see that table is now showing there. So it live updates really quickly. It's a pretty cool system, and I think adds a lot of multiplayer value to the game. So what else is there to see? We can also see we've done a bit of balancing. My friend Tim and I have started putting in some values for some of the different objects. They're not really tested yet, so some things might be way too expensive, some things might be way too cheap. But we can see all of the different objects that we've got in the game so far. Quite a lot of options. A few of the rendering things need to be improved, like this needs to be definitely scaled down a bit, because you can hardly see any of the wall in this preview. But in general, that is a lot of things. Now, I also have another version of the game here that I want to show off. This is my sandbox version. This won't ever be available public, but it's very useful for my testing purposes, as it gives me unlimited money, which has allowed me to build quite a fancy cafe that I have here. Now, we can show off that like you can really expand the cafe quite large using a system like this. I don't want to really confirm this, but we can see the scale of how much you can expand the cafe at the moment. It's quite good, I reckon. Quite expensive as well, but we've got unlimited money here, so it doesn't matter too much. But here's a nice cafe I've designed. So what we can do is show off, I guess, adding this really expensive cafe as a friend. So it'd almost be like your friend's been playing for a while and you've just added them as a friend, and you sort of have something to almost aim for, I guess. You can see other, like that was one of the things I used to love about Zombie Cafe, was looking at the random cafe viewer, and it gave you a lot of inspiration and motivation to try and improve your cafe. So now we've followed this account and now it shows up here. The UI needs a bit of improvement, so I'm not actually too sure which account it is, but let's try click this first one. Nope, that is the one we already had added. What about the second one? Here we go. So now we can see we've added our friend that's a lot better at the game here and see the very fancy cafe that they have going on over here. So overall, system is working really well in terms of the social aspect. I think we need to get the cafe names working so you can tell who's who. The experience system is what this number here will be. It's currently set to 0, so not really working yet. But overall, really happy with how the social system's working. Let me check my notes over here to see if I had anything else I wanted to show off. I think that was pretty much everything in terms of new features. So I guess, yeah, that's pretty much everything for the moment. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing the updates. There's also the offline system as well. Again, I spoke about it before. Can't really show it off at the moment. Don't really have a good systems in place for displaying it, but it does exist. It's really good. It'll allow for possible leaderboard systems in the future, such as maybe some earnings leaderboards and some like customers served per hour leaderboards, where players can submit their save files and then a server could maybe verify it over the span of an hour in just a few milliseconds. So it's really efficient. It allows for a lot of possibilities in the future, and really happy with that system as well. But I guess thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the Discord or the comment section. I'll try and answer some questions, or if you have any ideas as well, join the Discord and let me know. So thank you everyone. I hope you have enjoyed seeing this update.